Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Commissioner Khan, being here. So I want to bring a few issues, and I would like you to respond. But first, I belong to a group of people, even though I very much agree with Mr. Tiffany that majority of monopoly problems which are significant because we created this monopolies, incentivized this monopoly. And unfortunately, we created more companies now, too big to fail. And all of the laws that we try to deal with them, including like Dodd-Frank Act, which I was actually one of the implementers when I work in public accounting, now created this institution even bigger. And now we're going to be dealing with that. But I also understand that there are some of the areas where we have now problems so big that it involves us to looking at the barriers of entry, like healthcare, and then looking what are we going to deal with now with these monopolies that distorting the market and using very aggressive behaviors to suppress suppress competitives and really not delivering value because they can't. They are not natural monopoly. We created, and we have to look at that. So I think your agency has an important function, but unfortunately, and I want you to really respond on that, we have a lot of concerns from the Republican side, and that agency has been politicized, and agency has been used to really the hammer and sickle and, to actually pick, a kind of in fashion to pick losers and winners. And I think, it's becoming a problem. And if you look at your even, the missions that you have and objectives, you said we will really need to have more, merge together consumer protection, competition, and you want to, your agency shapes distribution of power. I truly don't believe that that is an agency. I think the agency should be, dealing with the real abusers in the system that want to not have competition, use monopolistic power. So even in the statements, it's a problem. And I think we have one common ground that it seems like a lot of time we have a lot of talk is on healthcare. But when we come to the action, it's even recently, we put it on the table with President Biden's administration on dealing with, with site-neutral payments in hospitals that bankrupt in Medicare, total abuse of power, allow them to buy private practices, allow them to put these doctors in crazy non-competes, enslave them, building Taj Mahals, not paying taxes, invest in billions on Wall Street, and pay billions to executives by subsidies that are now countries gone bankrupt on, because sort of our spending is healthcare, not delivering value, they didn't want to deal with that, and then you have a challenge now because a lot of these entities, nonprofit, which is really doesn't even have guidance, that's that like next business I'm going to have is going to be tax exempt, you don't have a full jurisdiction to deal with these entities, and no one has, and I would like you to deal with that, but now my colleagues here have a concerns. We have actually a bipartisan bill, but a lot of my people here feel concerned with you that you're not going to be enforcing it properly, and you will use it as a power, to actually pick losers and winners again. So I wanted you to see how you can respond with what you're doing in this area. I think there is a PBM, probably common ground. We have that area. But if we look at that, 50 to 60% of spend is, hospitals and physicians. 5 to 10 is actually only spent on drugs. So this is a huge amount of money. How would you respond what you're doing on that, and how you would address some of these Republican concerns? Because I think your agency has some functions. But unfortunately, everything got so politicized. And a lot of people here on my side of the aisle don't feel comfortable to give any more power to your agency.
So thanks for the question, Congresswoman. You're absolutely right. We have a whole set of work streams underway relating to healthcare markets. We're concerned about instances in which monopolistic practices or a lack of competition in healthcare markets may be raising prices for consumers, maybe depriving them of access to quality healthcare. Our teams have for many years now been challenging hospital mergers where they've determined that the merger would either raise prices or lessen competition in ways that was harming patients. We have work underway, as we've talked about extensively today, relating to PBMs and the potential conflicts of interest that are created through their vertical integration, as well as issues that may be created through the rebate schemes that they have in place. We also have work looking more directly at drug prices and whether mergers and acquisitions done by pharmaceutical companies maybe inhibiting innovation, maybe keeping lower-cost alternatives out of the hands of American patients. So that's all work that we have underway, and we're working hard to move quickly on all of that.
Well, my time has expired, but we still need to figure out how you can address concerns of my colleague. So, and I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. I recognize